Oh, Bill O'Reilly. Bloody tides.
Okay, how did the moon get there?
The most favoured and best hypothesis so far is the giant impact hypothesis. This model is that, within the chaotic early inner solar system, an impact between the young Earth and a body approximately the size of Mars, dubbed Theia, created a large amount of debris that entered into Earth's orbit, which then accreted together. But the origins of the moon are nothing to do with the tides. It doesn't matter how it got there, it still causes the tides.
Look, you pinheads who attacked me for this, you guys are just desperate.
For pointing out that you didn't know that the gravitational influence of the moon causes the tides?
How'd the sun get there?
The sun originated when a cloud of gas and dust suffered a gravitational collapse. This then led to a dense region in the centre that got hot enough for hydrogen fusion to eventually occur. But the way you've worded that is odd. Get there. In the sky, in the same way as the moon. Of course, the way to word it would be, how did the sun form, then how did the earth form? Otherwise it seems a bit geocentrist.
How come we have that, and Mars doesn't have it?
Because Mars, A, has no oceans. I mean, for real? This is because it's smaller, therefore its outer core solidified quicker, thereby losing most of its magnetic field, meaning its surface became exposed to the full force of the sun. This quickly removed much of any surface water it had. Water may persist in liquid form underground and exists at the poles as ice. And B, it does have two very small satellites which have probably captured asteroids, meaning if it did have oceans, the gravitational influence from these would be small. Perhaps it may also be influenced by Jupiter, though.
Venus doesn't have it.
Venus doesn't have a moon because that's not the way the solar system played out. In a repeat of the conditions in the protoplanetary disk around the protosun, it may have ended up with a moon like ours, and we may well have not. But because it's so much closer to the sun, the gravitational influence of the sun probably makes any orbit very unstable, so it probably wouldn't have been able to hold on to any moon. Venus doesn't have tides because it has no natural satellites nor any oceans.
How did that little amoeba get here?
How the first life arose is actively being studied in the young field of abiogenesis, where many hypotheses exist. No hypothesis says that the first life was an amoeba.
You have order in this universe. You have an order in the universe.
You do, and you also have disorder. You wouldn't exist without this disorder, whether deity plonked you here or not. I briefly mentioned hydrogen fusion earlier, which is one type of nuclear fusion. This relies on the mass defect when you fuse two nuclei together. If the universe were ordered in the way you imply, when two nuclei fuse together, no energy would be released, and without the sun, deity or not, you would die.
Okay, yeah, the moon does it. Fine. How'd the moon get there? Who put it there?
This is systematic of the fundamentalist, with loaded questions. It also seems like Bill O'Reilly's presenting style from the snippets I've endured of him. Why would it have to be a who? The giant impact hypothesis is the currently favoured scientific model, but I'm pretty sure that Odin actually put it there.
Did it just happen?
Not spontaneously, no.
Okay, if we have existence, if we have life on Earth, how come they don't have it on the other planets?
To say that with such certainty is galling. The fact is that many feel that there may be places on Mars where simple life could hide and survive. There are also extrasolar planets being discovered nearly daily. Some reside within the habitable zone, and to simply say there's no life on them is ridiculous, but not as ridiculous as saying that there's no life on any other planet in the universe, not even on the ones we haven't discovered. The answer is that there may well be life on other planets, with a small chance of life being within the solar system outside of Earth.
Were we just lucky? Some meteor do this? Come on.
Lucky? Perhaps. We played the cards we were dealt. Life evolved to the conditions that existed on this planet. Panspermia is the hypothesis that suggests that life arrived at Earth from elsewhere, so a meteor may well have brought life to Earth. As for the second part, personal incredulity is not a form of evidence against the hypothesis, and it's ridiculous to reject it without studying it first.
It takes more faith to not believe and to think that this was all luck, that all this human body, the intricacies of it and everything else, all luck, than it does to believe in a deity.
Incorrect. By definition, atheism is a position of disbelief and so takes no faith. The evolution of humans was not luck or chance, it was selective processes that favoured traits which made the organism more suitable to the environment. He keeps saying that it's desperate, but he's gone from ties of magic and shiz to first asking where the moon is. Some relevance, but not necessary to know that the tides are caused by the moon, then to where life came from. Such a strategy is called moving the goalpost, which is fallacious and dishonest. You wanted to know where the tides originated from when we already know. When this was pointed out to you, your little brain went into a panic, moving the goalposts all over the place. That is desperate, and that is dishonest. But really, his entire video can be summed up as: